exciting functions came in. Yes, unlike regular classic functions, these are gonna be your go-to aggregating functions. No fill handle, no aggregate function, no refresh data for pivot table. Only group by, pivot by functions. Excel has heard our unspoken wish. Now let's figure out how helpful, functional, and productive these are. Hello there, this is Farihatul Mim from Exceldemy, your one-stop for Excel blog posts, discussion forum, templates, and VBA-related answers. Here we have a dataset with 17 records along with their store location, product category, product name, unit sold, and sales amount. Using these, we will discuss the application of the two new aggregate function group by pivot by functions and some extended features as well. In the process, we have used Excel 365 Insider program. We wish it can be available to other Excel versions soon. Let's get down to the video. As you can see, group by has a large syntax. Among these, row fields is the ones we want as rows or records based on values of the calculation of the records, function as any function we want to add or make the calculation based on. Rest of the arguments will be discussed as we discuss some of the applications. Now this works for all the cells using array format, which is why cell merge or editing is limited here. Now in I4, let's try the first formula using group by function. Tab. Now row fields will be selected as C4 to C21. Values will be F4 to F21, which is units sold based on the store location. Now the function here will be selected as sum. Let's go along with tab. Closing parenthesis, enter. As you can see that all the cells are automatically fulfilled based on the criteria we set. Here, 0 is added as a location since we have a blank cell in C15. So we get the total units sold across the store locations in the entire time span. Now let's say we want their average and column header. In I10, let's use another formula. Tab for row fields, let's keep it the same as before. C4 to C21, F4 to F21. As for function, we will choose average. Tab. Now field headers will be yes and show so that we can see the store location header. Let's add 3, closing parenthesis, enter. Now we can see the same data set rather with column header. In case we want to avoid the blank cell, we can make use of the filter array as the last argument. And let's use max function to get the maximum units sold based on each store location. Here function will be max, tab, comma 3 so that we get the column header. Now within the syntax, we want to go to filter array. So let's skip total depth and sort order. For filter array, let's try another argument so that it avoids the blank cell. Now C4 to C21 not equal to empty. Now we will get values that has data within the cells. Enter. As you can see that we no longer have the 0 as store location. Easy, right? Now let's try two categories for row field. Here in I4, our row fields will be C4 to D21, which means 2 columns. As for values, it will be F4 to F21 again. We will use sum function. Let's add the headers. Now for total depth, let's add 2 so that we get grand and subtotals. Closing parenthesis, enter. As we can see that we are getting the total units sold for Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, and finally a grand total for all the units sold across all the stores. Now in case you want the subtotal of the column on the right or work on non-adjacent columns as row field, HSTACK function can help you. In I4, let's try a formula, group by, tab. For row fields, we will include our HSTACK function. For array 1, we will include C4 to C21. As array 2, we will add E4 to E21. As we can see, both of these are non-adjacent columns. Closing parenthesis. Now for values, let's add F4 to F21, comma, sum as our function. As for field headers, yes and show 3, comma, and let's go along with 2 for total depth so that we get grand and subtotals. Closing parenthesis, enter. Now we can see column headers along with the grand totals and subtotals for all the products based on store location. Here the first row field will be just as we choose the first array of HSTACK function. We can work with text strings using concat or ARRAYTOTEXT functions as well. Now in B24, let's try a formula using GROUPBY. Tab. Our row fields here will be C4 to C21, comma, values here will be E4 to E21. Now as for function, we will use ARRAYTOTEXT. As for headers, we can choose yes but don't show, comma. As for totals, let's go along with no totals, which is 0, closing parenthesis, enter. As we can see, the product array is giving us the products of Chicago added with commas and Los Angeles as well as New York. Easy, right? Now say you want total sales based on months or intervals within the dataset. In F24, let's try another formula, which is GROUPBY. Here, row fields will be date references. Now, we don't want the date references, rather formatted somehow else. So, let's use text function. For the date reference, you can make use of year or month functions as well. We have used text function here due to specific format we're using. So, our value here will be B5 to B21, comma. Now, for format text, we will add double quotation mark so that we get 2 digits for month reference and 4 digits for year reference. Double quotation close, closing parenthesis, comma. Now group by values will be G5 to G21, which is the sales value, comma. Let's use sum, tab. Let's keep the field headers part. As for total depth, let's say we don't want any totals, so 0, closing parenthesis, enter. As we can see that the month value 1, 2, 3 or January, February, March are added here based on the sales. Now if we change the formula just slightly like that, we can see the month values are added here. Also, they are automatically sorted alphabetically by default. We will discuss the sorting order details at the end of the video. Now, PIVOTBY syntax is pretty similar to GROUPBY function. If we try the basic formula here in I4, like the GROUPBY function we discussed before, we can see that it gives the same count of output. So, our row fields here will be C4 to C21, comma, column fields will be D4 to D21. Now, the values we want is G4 to G21. Since G4 is not visible, let's manually type it, comma, use function. Let's try sum here. Closing parenthesis, enter. As we can see, row and columns are well organized here and works just like our commonly used pivot table feature, rather in an easier way. Now Excel has released another function which is %of. Without using any formula, you can easily try that as a function. Let's give it a shot within our PIVOTBY function. In I10, let's use the row, column and values reference just as before, which is C4 to C21 as row fields, as column fields D4 to D21. Now for values, G4 to G21. As for function, we will use %of. Tab. Let's use closing parenthesis, enter. Now we can see the categories are distributed based on location. The total row and column helps us understand the validity of the percentage calculation. To convert these values into percentage, we can select all of them and go to Home tab. From the number group, we can choose this button to convert into percent style, or we can go along with Ctrl Shift %. There we are. Quite a handy function, right? Now, let's use count function and remove total column for each store locations as we got for the previous two tables. Tab, use the same values. as row, column, and values reference. As for function, let's use count tab. Now, we don't want to add anything for field headers, neither for row total depth, neither for row sort order, rather for column total depth, which is no totals, 0, closing parenthesis. Enter. Now we can see that we no longer are getting a column for total. Makes our work a lot more easier than pivot table, right? HSTACK can be helpful in pivot by function as well. Let's try that on I4. Tap. Our row fields will get HSTACK function. Tap. Our array 1 will be E5 to E21, which are the products, whereas array 2 will be D5 to D21. Now our first row here will be product rather than product category, which was the shortcoming for not using HSTACK function, comma. Column fields will be C5 to C21. As for values, it will be G5 to G21. As for function, let's go along with sum again. Now let's skip field headers, row total depth, row sort order. Now for column total depth, we can choose 0 so that we don't get any total column for all the records, comma. Now column sort order can differ based on your dataset. Let's go along with 1. Due to using 1 as column sort order, we are getting the columns based on alphabetically ascending. Now, if we use 2 instead of 1, we can see that the columns are organized based on the total value, smallest to largest. The same values with negative signs are for descending order. Let us know how you are applying these functions in your daily life, or you can easily practice these with the help of the Excel file in the description box below. Let us know if you could do it in the comment section. Share your suggestions and feedback as well. You can visit our website exceldemy.com and reach out to our forum for all your VBA or Excel related problems free of cost. Stay tuned by subscribing to the channel and clicking on that bell icon. Like and share the video if it helps you. Thanks for watching.